deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer.
Are you a businessman or woman? Do you need loan to grow your business? At Taraba Business Development Center, we offer both business and personal loan with flexible repayment plan. We are located in different parts of Taraba State. Jalingo branch, opposite Civil Service Commission, 183 Amarua Way, 090-3134-4333. Zing branch, Zenith Bank agent beside College of Education, Zing, 070-3125-2559. Are you a businessman or woman? Do you need loan to grow your business? At Taraba Business Development Center, we offer both business and personal loan with flexible repayment plan. We are located in different parts of Taraba State. Jalingo branch, opposite Civil Service Commission, 183 Amarua Way, 090-3134-4333. Zing branch, Zenith Bank agent beside College of Education, Zing, 070-3125-2559.
What if I told you there's a cab service you can book right now in Jalingo? Sounds like a dream, right? No, it's reality. Let Supercab get you transported to anywhere you want to go in Jalingo, and let them also run your errands for you while you sit at the comfort of your home. And guess what? It is affordable, reliable and fast. They run a 24-hour service. You can click the link attached to this video to download the app, or you can also download the app on Play Store. I'm so excited for this, and I know you are too. Use Supercab today and be happy. Bye. What if I told you there's a cab service you can book right now in Jalingo? Sounds like a dream, right? No, it's reality. Let Supercab get you transported to anywhere you want to go in Jalingo, and let them also run your errands for you while you sit at the comfort of your home. And guess what? It is affordable, reliable and fast. They run a 24-hour service. You can click the link attached to this video to download the app, or you can also download the app on Play Store. I'm so excited for this, and I know you are too. Use Supercab today and be happy. Bye. What if I told you there's a cab service you can
be advised. When a tanker bearing fuel falls or an underground pipe bearing fuel bursts, what do? Scooping fuel in your bucket or running far away from impending fire? You have a few seconds to take the wisest decision. Walk away? No, that is not enough. Shift? No, that is not enough. Stay there and gist and take shots with your phone? That is madness. Run. Yes, run away. Yes, your life depends on your action. The flames come suddenly, unexpected but uncontrollable. Why? Fuel is highly inflammable. Why? It just requires a spark to set off a ravaging inferno. So, don't stay there to think. Storm away to live. Do not throw away your life in anguish for meaningless fuel siphoning. Be advised.
Good morning, you're welcome to the morning show on Some TV. The morning show on Some TV is where we start your day on a very, very educative, enlightening, and informative manner. And anchoring the morning show today is Abraham Anajoda, and with me is Mr. Ira Daniel Kukwen, the Director of News and Current Affairs in Some TV, a maverick writer and a political analyst. You're welcome, sir.
I'm always happy to be here. Thank you very much.
And let me also let you know that he's a man of the cloth, or how do they call it?
I don't understand what you mean. Which one is man of the cloth?
Is a reverend in the making.
Yeah. I'm a trained seminarian. I'm a theologian by every ramification of the word theologian.
Okay, so let me ask, as a theologian, do you also have these powers for miracles and the rest of them? Or there's a difference between a theologian and a spiritual leader?
Well, I don't want to talk about that because miracle comes from God. It is God that decides on who he wants to use for whatever it is that is going to suit his purpose. So I don't think a theologian is actually different from a clergy to a very large extent, because there are theologians who are not yet clergy. You understand? It's just like a barrister and a lawyer, because there are instances where you study law and you're not yet a barrister, you don't go to God. Yes, that's the way it is.
Now, there's this, I thank God you're here today. It just comes to my mind. Can you be called without you having the rudiments of theology, and the Holy Spirit will just help you?
Well, it depends from the theological perspective that you want to speak about that. You know, a school of thought. I belong to the school of thoughts that there is no way you will be called and you will not be trained. It's just like saying somebody would decide to say, I am a called physician. You understand? If a doctor decides to say, I am called, God, the Holy Spirit has instilled in me the ability to conduct operation on appendicitis, you know, that becomes something else. You say, the Holy Spirit teaches me in the night, when I pray, I fast, and the Holy Spirit teaches me how to conduct an operation on somebody that has a particular ailment. You know, that is scary. And I think that person should be arrested one way or the other, because he will be described as a quack to a very large extent. So I don't know, and at times training is an all-encompassing word. Oh, yeah. Training can be personal training, but somehow you have to be a trained and certified theologian for you to be a pastor, functional pastor. That's what I think.
And I think this also applies to our profession here, the profession of the mass media. No matter how good you are in talking analysis, you need some form of training for you to be a balanced journalist. And we all see this. We see the difference between what is obtainable somewhere else and what is obtainable here. No matter how good you are in the use of English, in the political situation in the country, you need one training or the other to balance your presentation. And I think we've learned something today from a theologian and also a writer. So on this note, let us go to the matters of the day. Today, the newspapers are here, and we are going to look at, let me start with the New Telegraph. The New Telegraph, on the cover page of the New Telegraph, we have Rivers crisis are there to rule of law, Tinubu tells Fubara others. That is a major headline on the cover page of the New Telegraph, while also on the New Telegraph, at the top of the New Telegraph, we have Shetima, Nigeria now on new growth trajectory. That is from the Vice President. Some other headlines on the New Telegraph said, halt increase in ATM transaction charges, Rep tell CBN. I think the House of Reps have stepped into the issue of the charges, ATM charges, and what have we. And they say want NCC to block porn sites. That is quite interesting. That made some news over the weekend. Yeah. A lot of people, I was surprised when some people were concerned that why will NCC block pornographic sites from the website. Don't you think, what is your view concerning pornography sites and the rest of it, and the instruction to NCC to block them?
Yeah, there are two perspectives to this. One is from our norms, our cultural norms in this part of the world, our socio-cultural norms. We believe that pornography is something that is not accepted as a practice that should be conducted among the youths and people in this part of the world. Yeah. But I think people that are disagreeing with this move are those that want to look at it from the perspective where are we degenerating to a situation where the state, the Nigerian state, is becoming an authoritarian, is becoming because we've seen those practice in some part of the world, in the Middle East and other places where some restrictions to side, because I think they are envisaging the situation where it is going to move from porn restriction to other restrictions, and that will make the society to be suffocated with some informations. So I think their concern is not about porn, it's about how it may degenerate to something else. Because I don't think anybody should be criticizing the government for saying porn. What is the benefit of porn to any other person?
I'm even surprised we're discussing porn this early in the morning. Let us move to the major. Now let me take this. Adhere to rule of law, Tinubu tells Fubara others. And we could see here from the president told on Tuesday told warring parties and the Rivers State political crisis to obey the court orders. The president also told stakeholders to make sacrifice for the state to move forward by recognizing the constitution. And the president spoke while addressing political leaders from the South on the edges of the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF, at the council chambers, presidential Villa Abuja. So he emphasized the critical need for adherence to the rule of law in Rivers State to ensure lasting peace and prosperity. And he told the representatives and leaders of PANDEF that respect for the judiciary is crucial in upholding democracy and fostering harmony. Later in a press statement by his spokesperson, Bayo Nanuga, Tinubu advised the leaders to be more broad-minded, selfless, and focus on the larger vision of salvaging the region politically and economically by insisting that the judiciary interpretation of the Constitution must be respected. I think I will have to agree with the president here. There's a need for us to obey the judiciary interpretation of the Constitution. We shouldn't cherry pick the interpretations. If you have an issue with the interpretation, you can go. Even the Supreme Court, we've seen cases whereby you go for a review of the judgment, and if there is nothing, you just have to. There's a saying that say the Supreme Court is not infallible because it has no fault. But it is infallible because it is final. The decision is final. So sometimes you just have to accept that this is the final. You win some, you lose some. Some judgments will come your way, some may not come your way. There's a need for us to respect that fact. And I think from what I've seen, Fubara will take to this advice. From my opinion, will take to this advice. But you know this political pressure, and he will also have to be careful so that he, by quickly implementing whatever it is done, he doesn't step on banana peel of impeachment. So while he's been trying to be legal about it all, he also has to be political with the way he handles it, because sometimes someone once told me that say the truth and the truth will set you free. And I ask him if you commit a robbery and you say the truth, will they set you free? Or
it's not going to set you free. I think saying the truth is going to set you free is from the spiritual perspective. Because you're going to be free in the sense that, yes, but in the physical, I don't think that there is an exception to that rule. And talking about, I watched the TVC News that gave this report earlier before we came to the studio, and the president was making statements such as he will not sit here and see the rule of law not being adhered to. You know, that statement is, it's a good thing for him to ensure the sustenance of the rule of law as administered in the law courts. But what of the perspective that talk about the federal might, the federal government interference? We practice a presidential system of government that should be like the ones that is practiced in other climes, such as the United States of America. How do we see the United States president dabbling into issues
except
like
Trump.
this? Well,
you know, when you want to say, you should remember there's a Donald Trump that dabbles into issues. Well, let me say except Trump. Continue. Don't let me break your
all right.
talk
I was trying to say the president should not be careful not to dabble into situations where it is going to compromise the rule of law itself, because some people are crying that the ruling of the Supreme Court is as the result of the influence of the federal might.
Is that proven? Honestly, I don't like us deciding that the rule. No, most of the people that even make these suggestions are people that don't even know. So you will ask them, what is the case? But have you seen the ruling? No. But they just feel because it goes against their interests, that means that
But there is this thing to some of these rulings. There is this political loopholes. There is these loopholes normally in such rulings that can be taken advantage of by. Now, you mentioned something earlier talking about how Fubara should be careful not to step on banana peel. Now, it's indicative of the fact that there could be something in that implementation that could trigger his impeachment process. You understand? It is possible. Now, ordinarily nobody wants to leave government like that except for personal reasons of ill health and other factors like that.
Everyone else, we don't leave government for years.
Mostly in this part of the world. In this part of the world. You don't leave government in this part of the world. But there are times where people may decide to leave government because of personal interest. You understand? So there is no way you will say there is the ruling of the Supreme Court is completely without some of these concerns. So if it leads to that concern, there is a need for whosoever is there as the state government level to ensure that some of these concerns do not become a Waterloo for him.
Thank you very much. I think we will now call upon all the parties involved in Rivers State to ensure that the rule of law is adhered to for the sake of peace, development in Rivers State. So we'll now move to Mr. Ira. What do you have for us which of the papers do you have for us and what do you have there?
Okay, we're going to take Daily Champion. Daily Champion has this headline talking about UBA to host a special business series on women impact on industry on Thursday, which is tomorrow. And there's this interesting headline here on the Daily Champion. Alleged sexual harassment. Natasha drags National Assembly to Interparliamentary Union and seeks protection of women against political victimization. I was watching it on TV shortly before we come to the studio here. She was in one international, look at the name, Interparliamentary Union somewhere outside Nigeria. And that is how she became emotional. She cried on TV. You understand? She was shedding tears and complaining that the reason why she was suspended is because she laid a complaint of sexual harassment on the Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That was her statement. And you know, that is what, I don't know, that was it. She said she was specific in this choice of words. The reason why she was suspended is because she listed what is contained in the suspension. She was not supposed to address herself as a senator. She was not supposed to go near the National Assembly. Her salaries and other things have been cut off simply because she led a complaint of sexual harassment on the Senate President. It was on TV.
Did she speak about the fact that she broke some standing rules?
She didn't mention that. Before she said those things on TV, she had to apologize to one other female legislator that was there and said she apologized. She's not trying to bring Nigeria into shame. She's not here to embarrass Nigeria. I'm paraphrasing what she said. She's not here to bring shame to Nigeria, but she's there to lay a complaint as a woman that is being victimized because she laid a sexual harassment case against the Senate President at the National Assembly.
I want to ask, has she taken this case to court, issue of sexual harassment?
To the best of my knowledge, not yet. I stand to be corrected. I've not seen or received any report of how she has taken the case of sexual harassment to court in Nigeria yet. Maybe she will. Maybe after she comes back from wherever she is now. But this is what happened, and it was covered on other TV stations like that. So you see, that is actually a serious concern. So I want to take the major headline on the Daily Champion, who talk about APC chairman to Southeast, join mainstream political parties to enjoy greater development. Rather, join mainstream politics to enjoy greater development. Says wrong choice will lead to continued marginalization. As Senator Omeh insists on full reintegration of Igbos into Nigeria 55 years after Civil War. You know, all these agitations is coming at the heels of the fact that the Igbos believe that they've not been given any reasonable. I don't understand. I don't want to use the word reasonable actually, but I don't know if there's another alternative word to use to giving maybe the presidency of Nigeria, because Lex Ekweme became vice president. We have people like, what is it called? The Ibitu Ikiwe is Igbo, or from the South.
It's from the South.
What of Augustus Aikomu.
Ekoma is from Edo State. He's from the south.
South, okay.
Yeah.
They are claiming that they've not been given a position of...
Are these positions given?
They've not mentioned, actually. Okay, look at the statement of Senator Omeh here. He said, after 55 years of civil war, Senator Omeh insists on full reintegration of Igbos into Nigeria 55 years after civil war. I don't understand what he meant by full reintegration, because I think it's all about political agitations. Igbo should be the president of Nigeria and other things like that. But I don't think there are so many tribes in Nigeria who have not been president. I don't know your tribe has been a president of Nigeria.
Some of us that are from these tribes that we've not even had the opportunity to become governors in our state. We begin to wonder when some people have, maybe they don't understand the plight of those of us. Nigeria is not about the 3 major languages, and I think we need to know that. But they may have a point, which I think they also have a point. A lot of us have a point concerning the way there are marginalizations across the country in one way or the other. But I think when you're talking about marginalization, I think it is those of us that are of the minority tribe that should be worried. Because in one way or the other, the 3 major tribes have a way of ensuring that they settle themselves, whether locally, whether at the state level, at the federal level, or at the senatorial level, at the regional level. But the most important thing is that nobody should be marginalized. Nobody should be scapegoat for the past events in the country. But I think, again, politics is about networking.
Yes.
Politics is about playing the right politics, ensuring that you make the right alliances and
at the right time.
At the right time.
At the right time.
That is politics for you.
I think that is what Senator Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, former governor of Kano State and the national chairman of APC, is trying to draw their attention to. He's trying to say the reason why the Igbo have not been able to reach their aspired goal, most likely to become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, is because of their political calculations during the election year and other things like that. Though Peter Obi contested to become the president of Nigeria.
And he had very good chances.
And he had very good chances. He could have won, except for the fact that somehow something happened, and at the end of the day...
What happened?
He lost elections. He lost elections.
I just wanted to be sure.
Yeah, he lost elections and somehow, but he contested. Yeah. Now, if they're talking about marginalization, how many Igbo senators do we have in Nigeria? How many Igbo? We had one of Senate president in this country. Yes, so we have Igbos who have become Senate president. Even to become a member House of Reps is categorized as a national figure already. If you're a governor of your state, you're already a national figure. Yeah. The issue going on in Rivers State is Rivers State issue, but you see it on national daily, it has become a national issue. So for somebody to be just a governor, he's already a national figure. So I don't know what the Igbos are actually saying. I don't mean to have any hard feelings. Maybe they should have issues that has to do with some specific issues, such like the issue of gully eruption in the east, where it is affecting the economy, the issue of insecurity and other things like that. Maybe that should be what they should be agitating for. Seeing to it that government pursue it in such a way that those things are not existent again as maybe developmental effort. So I don't think, I don't agree with Senator Omeh, and I agree with Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje that, and you here, because you mentioned how it is the political dynamics. So they should strategize, come back to the drawing board and see to it how they will belong to a political party that can one day give them the platform to become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much. On a lighter note, when I saw their daily champion, let me tell you a short story. Okay. While I was a young boy in my primary school, we were living at Ilorin.
Okay.
And our house was close to the post office, and that is where they sell newspaper.
All right.
So usually my dad would tell me, go to the post office. I just look at the distance. Then that means the security of the country was quite good for me. I was in my primary school. Say, go to the post office, buy me Guardian and Concord.
Okay.
Guardian, Concord. So most time it's either Guardian, Concord. I think they used to supply New Herald. It belongs to Kwara State then for the local news. Okay. So I would go on singing Guardian, Concord, Guardian, Concord, Guardian. Okay. I don't know what happened that day. So I got to the newspaper stand, and I don't know, either Guardian or Concord. I couldn't remember I know that. It couldn't be Guardian because I used to like a cartoon on Guardian written by AKDD. The cartoonist AKDD.
Okay.
So I know that Guardian, I know. So probably it's Concord owned by this. I forgot the name. I bought Guardian and Daily Champion, bought Champion newspaper. When I got home, my dad was like, "What did I tell you to buy?" I said, "C." Okay, I think it's Concord. You know, Concord started with C.
Okay.
Champion. I now told me, what is the? He said, "Bring out the page." Yesterday papers, I brought it. Concord, the color is green. The heading is green. This is blue.
Okay.
And since then, Champion stuck to my head.
Right.
The Champion newspaper. So today, seeing it again years later, it just brought back some memories. And rest in peace to my dad. It was one of the people that made me to love reading newspapers. And now let us go to the next one. Yeah, The Punch. I think The Punch has something different. The major line different from most of the papers today. Say, anger over Eda's deadly attacks in Ondo, Benue, Nasarawa, 30 killed. I say Ondo protester regent attack government over killing. Benue LG Secretariat Palace raised. That's the major headline. But we have some other headlines on The Punch. The Punch has it that Natasha takes face off with Senate to the United Nations. Also on the cover page of The Punch, we have ECOWAS Defense Chief activates standby force, Wu, Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso. I think that's a good one. The ECOWAS, they're wooing the members that have left. That is Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso for a standby force. Also on the business side, it's a marketers reject 800 naira per litre as imported petrol cost drop. I think we need to keep seeing more drops in the prices of petroleum products. For Lagos State, it's a $5 billion vehicle purchase, deepings of Basa, Miranda, Freed, $5 billion. That is should be on page 25 of The Punch. So that's what I'm going to take. But let me look at the major headline, which said anger over Eda's deadly attacks in Ondo, Benue, Nasarawa, which has 30 killed. That is quite sad. The report we got yesterday said 3 states, Benue, Nasarawa, and Ondo, they were locked in rage and protest yesterday over the killing of no fewer than 28 persons by headmen and bandits. A pregnant woman was among the 20 persons killed during the farmer-herders clash that left scores, wounded, houses, motorcycles, and a police operational vehicle set ablaze in Nasarawa local government area of Nasarawa State. As at The Punch, as a president, the Nasarawa State Police said they have recovered 6 bodies, while a witness said no fewer than 20 people died and many remain missing. Also, market women and youths took to the streets over the kidnap of 9 surveyors as Ondo State government, the police and regents differed over the sacking of 4 communities and killing of 20 in Akure North local government area by bandits. Indeed, there was pandemonium also in Goa local government area. Benue State has always used yesterday morning burned down the council secretariat in Naka and the palace of the chairman of Goa West Traditional Council, His Royal Highness Daniel Abonse. Before I go forward, I keep wondering what does burning down of the council has to do with curbing of insecurity. I think that this kind of, I know there's this anger over this, but I don't see how the burning of the local government council secretariats we help on this matter. They said they were over alleged murder of 3 members of the civil protection guards by suspected armed herdsmen on Monday. They said the trial were on duty on Mbando and Sebe in Bassave ward of the local government when they were killed. The mob also allegedly raised other properties in town, including an hotel belonging to a lawmaker representing Benue Northwest in the Senate, Senator Title Zam. Okay, this let's stay away from maybe the anger of the youth and the destruction that it caused and the rest of it. I think I thought we've gone past this this situation of Eda's attack on communities. To be fair to the present government, since they came in, it has been minimal compared to the way it was before now. But it seems it's beginning to return back. We're beginning to see attacks of herders, farmers in some areas. And what baffles me, this is not a farming season. as grazing lands and the rest of it. So I think this is beyond elder-farmer clashes from what I've seen. I think it has degenerated into a situation whereby it is pure criminality.
Well, you know, sources from the ground, in some interactions, I gathered that sources from the ground are asserting that in the Fulani herdsmen came and they were killed. So the normal thing, they promised to come back. Now that they are back, it is a kind of a reprisal attack. And they are blaming the leadership structure, the traditional rulers, the local government chairman, and the Senator Zam of not doing enough to see to it that this reprisal attack do not occur. You know, correcting a wrong by another wrong, which is completely unacceptable. So we're not saying that whether it is a reprisal attack or it is not, whatever it is a crisis that is hardest farmers. At least that is how it is. That's the information on ground now. But another thing we need to understand is that there could be another aspect to this crisis. Sure. Because somebody was making, confirming the information where as these attacks were going on, as the local government council was being destroyed, looting was going on massively. You understand? Looting was going on. Even at the house of Senator Zam, you will see furnitures, electronics were being looted while the house was being burnt down. Now, it could be a motivation for some of these crises, because I remembered some years back in Jos Plateau, if you go to Terminus area, these hoodlums will just start a crisis. Somebody's car was just parked, and for no reason, they set the car ablaze. And when the car started to burn, you will see people panicking and running helter-skelter. And that is how looting will commence. So some of these things may be a motivation for some of these crises. It may not necessarily be, if some of those people were apprehended and discovered that they were headers, maybe if you ask, the motives may not be what is making the runs now. Yeah. So these are the perspectives that the government should look at.
Look at confirming the development. The chairman of Goa West local government area, Victor Omiri, said the protest started by youth in Naka was later hijacked by hoodlums, and they burned down the local government secretariat and the Teinagi Palace. He explained that the crisis was triggered by the murder of 3 members of civil protection guards who were killed in Gialua community by armed men. So when the bodies were brought to Naka, it sparked protests from the youth, which was taken over by hoodlums. That is the problem we always have with our protests here. Hoodlums are always waiting. And I think there are 2 ways to this. Like this protest, it is unplanned for.
Yes.
It is a spur of the money. Probably most of those youths are youths of the community. And when they see that, and probably they've been pillars